Music. So when you hear the word music, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? It's probably your mom singing a lullaby. It's probably you and your friends jamming to the best songs that you've heard. It's probably going to a concert. It's probably listening to music when it's raining outside near the window, in a train, when you're enjoying your journey. But for me, music was my drive to success. Music for me was my passion, and fortunately, it turned into my profession. So it's a bumpy road, but it's one that I will never forget. I wanted to make you guys go through my journey, and if there's any aspiring musicians, probably learn a few things or two. So growing up, I was born in Machilipatnam, and my parents are from Kakinada. So Tulgoji, if you heard of the term. If you heard of the term. So in an infant age of 6 months, my dad being an IT employee, we moved to Switzerland. And I lived there for about 3 years. Beautiful place, but I don't remember any of it because I was too young. After living in Switzerland, we moved to the States. My brother was born and we moved to the United States. For what? The American dream, if you've probably heard of it. So pre-kindergarten to about 4th grade, I lived in the United States. And I was bullied. Within the 6 years of living in the States, we changed 3 states. I lived in New Jersey, I lived in Texas, and I lived in Missouri. New Jersey and Texas were fine, but Missouri, it was misery, literally misery. Because I was the only Indian kid in class. I was the only Indian kid in class, and I was the only one bringing rice and curry for lunch. I was the only one with the brown skin, and I was the only one sitting alone at lunch. It was sad, and I didn't like the experience. So my dad took the strong, and when I say India, we moved back to Chennai. Chennai is the India of India. It's the South Indian culture enriched in one state. When I say Chennai, what do you remember? Filter coffee? Yeah, right? Tala? Okay, you remember Tala. Nice. I remember Talavadi, okay? I remember filter coffee. You remember Bharatanatyam. You remember classical music. You remember temples. You remember all this good stuff about our Indian culture. But for me, Chennai was where I was enlightened with music. It took me on to a journey where I started to love music. At school, I was supposed to learn slokas in order to start the day. So we would all stand in an assembly, all like 500 of us, Shuklam, Bharadram, Vishnum, Sesivardham, and I didn't know anything, but I had to learn it because that's how Chennai works. But I did. Going home or coming to school on an auto, the radio would play the best Tamil songs. I would turn on the TV and I would see reality shows of people singing. And I loved the culture. I picked up Tamil really, really quick. Within a span of 2 years, I was fluently speaking Tamil because in Chennai, you don't know any other language. Even if you do, you have to speak in Tamil. They don't speak any other language. Natistarante, but they do. And I picked up Tamil, and I picked up my love for my culture and my language and my South Indian heritage. And as I was loving it, you can see that was me in Chennai, wearing a sari, biting my nails because it was a school competition and I didn't like it. After living in Chennai for about 4 years, my dad got a call and he was supposed to move to the States. Actually, they gave him a choice. They said it was either the States or Singapore. And my dad said, I can't take my kids to a new place all of a sudden. We lived in the USA, so we'll go back to USA. So I went back to USA and like every other high school kid, I joined high school and I was having a good time. Things were going great. 2015, that was my sophomore year, and you can say 10th grade. Paduta Tiega. Have you ever heard of this term? Heard of it? S.P. Balasubramaniam Garu? Heard of it?
Yes.
So S.P. Balu sir has conducted a USA series, Paduta Tiega, in USA. And I didn't know how to sing. Well, I knew how to sing in my bathroom and at get-togethers and housewarming. Okka paata paadamma, okka dance cheyamma. You hear that term a lot, especially if you're talented. At home, they try to push you, and that's their way of encouraging you in front of people, so you don't get scared when you get a bigger platform. So at home, it was always like that till then. I sent my audition, and I got selected. I think I would say by luck. Clearly not by skill or experience, because I didn't have that. I got selected. I was holding the mic like this. Balu sir said, "This is not how you hold the mic. Bring it up and stop shaking." I said, "Okay, I'll hold it properly. I'll try to sing." 3 songs in, I got eliminated. Sad, right? Devastating, right? Not really. I was in denial. I didn't accept the fact that I was not good enough. I thought, I was better than all the other contestants. How can they eliminate me? How can that even happen to me? So I took 2-3 months to introspect what I was lacking. I sat at home. I didn't go to school. I was crying all day in my room. I want to become a singer. How can they eliminate me? Didn't make sense. But I learned to accept it because I can't change it. I can't go back in time and perform better than I did. So 2-3 months I sat down and I introspected what I was lacking, and I was lacking 4 things, to be honest. I was lacking experience, skill, practice, and grit. Through practice, you gain experience. Through the experience, you gain a skill. And with the skill, you gain the grit to do something that you want with it. And I was lacking it. So what did I do? I practiced. I practiced day in and day out. I would sit, I would research the best songs that were possible to perform. Even though I didn't have any platform to perform, I would just sit and practice and practice and practice and try to learn, because that's why I didn't succeed before. What did help me though was in USA, there were Telugu associations. Ugadi, Deepavali, Dasara. There were so many programs, so many live shows that were happening all throughout USA. And what did I do? I would call them. I would call the association and say, I'm a participant of Partadira, so if you give me a chance, I would come open your show. Sing the Ganesha song to open the whole show. Sing the song to give a filler within the performances. I went to the shows and I saw that people were getting paid to sing and perform. They came all the way from India to come and sing in these conventions and sing in these shows. But I was considered local talent. Because why? I didn't have any movie songs. I didn't have any stage experience. I just had one reality show experience, which I failed utterly and disastrously. So I didn't take that into consideration. But what I did was I kept singing. I didn't take a rupee. I didn't take $1, to be specific. I just kept singing, kept doing shows within the United States. So then after like about 5-6 shows, I was like, so can you pay me like $100? I said, okay, 100. We're paying like 2,000 for artists that are coming from India. We can pay you 100. So all I did was sing, 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 sing on stages all throughout the states. I met all these people that were coming from India. I met Chandrabose sir, I met Chitramma, I met Raghukunche sir, I met Koti Garu, I met Devi Sri Prasad sir, I met all these people. And anyone that would see me perform would say, "You're such a good performer, you have such a good voice. Come to India. We'll make you a singer, we'll give you a chance." So I thought, oh, crazy, that's really good. So I did that. After 12th grade, I took the decision to move back to India. Not a cool decision, huh? I mean, come on. Who wants to come to India from USA? Everyone wants to go to USA, right? No one wants to come here. So I went to my guidance counselor and I said, I think I'm going to go back to India after I'm done graduating high school. She looked at me, she was like, "You're out of your mind. Out of the 1,000, 1,200 students in this class that are graduating, no one is going back to India. You're out of your mind." I said, "No, I'm not out of my mind. I want to do it. Because if no one's doing it and I'm doing it, I have a better opportunity at achieving something that they couldn't." So I thought to myself, I went to my dad and I told, Nana, I really want to go to India. I want to try singing. I think that this is my passion. I think that this is what I want to do in life. And my dad, from my childhood, was never the one to say, doctor aite nahi career, engineer aite nahi career. He was not that person. Even though him being an IT employee and an IIT graduate, he never told me that. He never rubbed that on me and my brother. He said, if that's what you want to do it. We'll be there. We'll support you. So my brother and my mom and my dad stayed in the USA, and I made my uncle and aunt come all the way from Kakinada to stay with me for these 3 years in India. I did it for the education. I knew I wasn't here for anything else. I wasn't here for fun or activities or all the jolly stuff that college students did, because any other time that I had other than college, I was putting towards music. I wanted my college to be in the middle of the city so I can travel to every studio around. The music industry works on a very immediate basis. You get a call, you run. If you don't have the time to go run and grab that opportunity, somebody else will. So the whole industry works like that. If you're available, you have the opportunity. If you're not, someone else will grab it. Because there's so many people that can do the same thing as you. So I did it. I studied in college. And the culture shock for me in the education was so tough. Page-il nimpitene marklu vastayi. Enti? What is this? I was like, I can answer this question in 5 sentences, but I have to fill up 2 pages? But I did it because I wanted to pass. And I did really well in college because of my best friends. They were the ones supporting me throughout all my lonely moments, throughout all the times that I was doubting myself. My parents, I was juggling between USA and India. That's my mom crying and I'm covering it. But I was juggling between India and America, trying to balance them, trying to balance my education, and balancing music. As time went by, I had my first 3 releases. I sang Mela Melaga with Sid Sriram, and that was my biggest hit in 2019. That was my 2nd year of college. I started to work with Aman sir. I started to work for every other music director. And that was my first article in the Hindu Times. I really loved the profession. Things were going super, super fast, and I really loved everything because this is what I dreamed of. But success alone cannot be measured. Efforts can. Would you agree to this? You can't measure success, but you can measure efforts that you put in. You can depend upon what you will get with the efforts that you put, but you always have to keep putting in effort. So what I did was, I stepped into something out of my comfort zone. I stepped into independent music in 2021. With the experience that I gained from 2019 to 2021, I stepped into a field that I didn't know existed. I did 4 songs. 1 song was about a heartbreak. 1 song was about enjoying the single life. And 1 song was about rediscovering myself. I put a heavy amount on these songs, about 15 lakhs, and I didn't receive any money back. For an artist to grow, you need identity. Identity for an artist requires recognition, consistency, and visibility. So only if you know me, you click on my video, right? Why would you click on my video if you don't know me? You wouldn't watch my video, you wouldn't listen to my songs unless they were in a movie. See, clearly all these songs, you would see Venkatesh, you would see Naga Chaitanya and click on the song and listen to it, but you wouldn't click on it for me. I needed for people to look at me and click on it for me. So what I did do after that is this. Telugu Indian Idol. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when I say reality shows? Reality tappa, anni untai, reality show matram gaadu. It's not real. Right? That's what goes through your mind. That's the same thing that went through my mind. When I went to this reality show, I didn't like the experience. I didn't want to do it because I got a call. And I said, I'm already a singer. I don't want to do this because I have too much at stake. If I lose, I'm a playback singer losing. I'm not just someone who's trying to become a singer. I'm a singer and then I'm someone that lost. But I did it. You know why? Because all the singers you know, you've seen on TV. That's how Telugu industry, that's how it works. When you see people on TV, when you see people on a screen, or when you see people in movies, that's how you recognize them. So as I was participating in Indian Idol, I cracked the top 12, I got a golden mic, I did great. I went to eat Pani Puri one day after the second episode, and a boy came up to me like, Indian Idol, Aditi, I was like, wow, people actually are starting to recognize me. I had so many songs, but people knew nothing about me till I was seen on TV. So it worked out in my favor. I kept going, I kept putting the efforts in independent music, I kept putting the efforts in reality shows. As time went by, I gained the experience to sing for many, many music directors. I worked for Taman sir, I worked for Devi Sri Prasad sir, I worked for Mickey J. Mayer. I sang all these superb songs. I went to Swarabhishekam, I did all these reality shows, and I gained a lot of experience. I gained experience in ways to change and come out of my comfort zone. It's very hard, but I did it. I'll tell you one thing that I don't like about myself. I have a very poised and sharp tongue. I hate it. When I don't like something, I say it on the face. I don't like this. But I learned to shut up. Because sometimes in India, that can be considered as disrespect. Even if the elder is talking something wrong, you have to learn to respect your elders. When the music director is saying something you don't like, I don't like what you're saying, I can't say that. And I've lost a lot of opportunities being that way. I learned to take a step back. I learned to observe my surroundings and then react to what I wanted. When I'm working with new music directors, they come up to me and they say, ma'am, what can this song do better? You think I can improve something here? You think I can change something? What would make the song sound better? I don't take advantage of that. Just because I have the experience and knowledge doesn't mean that he doesn't know what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He's just asking me to beautify it. So I don't change the song and take that as an advantage and ruin his vision. We work together. We learn together. Whether it's new, whether it's old, whether it's young, whether it's established, anyone. Everyone's main goal is music. So I came from nothing to something. I don't want to be narcissistic, but that was my journey. I learned a lot. I learned to unlearn a lot. And from about 500 followers, I have so many people following my music, waiting for me to update about my life. I'm super grateful, and I'm super, super happy that I'm in this position because of my parents, because of all the music directors that have supported me, and my audience that have been my backbone. Thank you.